What is poppin', NFL fans? It's your boy Kevin Phillip Fox, and we're here with the Legit Football NFL podcast, another episode, and I'm not going to waste any time because I know you guys have missed this man just as badly as I have. Mr. Jimmy Ray coming at you live from Indianapolis, I believe, something along those lines. Jimmy Ray, how you doing, my friend?
There we go.
I was waiting for you.
Yes,
I said
sir.
your name and I waited a couple seconds.
I've been waiting for this day for so long.
Dude, seriously, it's great to have you back, man. How have you been? How's life been treating you?
Man, it's been busy. Summer is my busy time at work, so I just gotta kind of balance a lot of different things. But I'm excited to be back.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about. And you
Yes,
still
sir.
find time to come hang out and come chop it up and talk
Absolutely.
football with us. And we have a really fun show for everyone. We have an NFL off-season team power rankings. Doesn't get any more fun than that. And we might have another guest on the show in a little bit. I don't know. No spoilers. In the meantime, Jimmy Ray, what do you say we waste no time getting into our legit headlines?
Yeah, man, I don't even really look at these beforehand because I'm just
You want to
just
be
excited. I just want to be
honest.
surprised.
Yeah, no, I
So
wouldn't. I
let's.
don't even blame you. I got you. We're going to start off with Mr. Hopkins in Tennessee. DeAndre Hopkins has begun his Tennessee visit, and his Patriots visit is on deck. Hopkins kicked off his visit to Nashville. Titans reporter Paul Kuharski imagines the meeting will include a physical to confirm the health of Hopkins' knee. If he doesn't sign with the Titans, Foxborough is on the horizon. New England does have the cap space to make a competitive offer. People are projecting a 1-year, $10 million deal could be reasonable for him. He averaged 96.7 catches, 1,300 yards, and 8.7 touchdowns during his time in Houston with Bill O'Brien. So that's an interesting little nugget there. And he would function as the Patriots' new wide receiver 1. Juju would then move to 2, Parker 3, ipso facto, Tyquan Thornton, Kendrick Bourne. They have a lot of wide receiver 3s and 4s there, Jimmy, but they don't really have a force like Hopkins, do they?
No, they do not. And you said 1 year, $10 million for him.
That's the projected range that he's looking at. Yeah, I think and Mike Reese of ESPN thinks that the Patriots can pull it off.
Do you think Odell did he get like 1 year, 15 mil max?
Yeah, I think it was something like I think it was a $15 million deal, but there was a lot of incentives baked into it though.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's the way to do it. And the agents are always going to report the highest possible number. They're going to say up to this amount. So you got to do a little bit of digging there. You know, it's always important to not take contracts at face value when they first break. You know, a great example is the Odell deal. There's a lot of incentives there. The Leonard Floyd deal, base salary is way less than the, initial $7 million that was reported. You always have to do a little contract snooping, a little digging, but I think Hopkins at 10 mil, I think that's about what I expected him to command all along, right?
Yeah, I think around that. I mean, he's still a dude that can get open. He's still a
baller.
guy. He's still that guy. And I mean, I just don't think he fit kind of where the Cardinals are headed. So I'm not very surprised. I think we talked about it. I think if he was on the roster, it would be very surprising with how they're kind of headed in a different direction. But my guy DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to get a chance to ball out. I think the Patriots could be a great spot for him. I've talked about before about maximizing Mac Jones and his potential, and I think that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, absolutely. I do really want to quickly shout out in the chat. We have Oscar, the freaking GOAT, one of the best social media followers that we've ever had at Legit Football. He's on top of it. He is our first comment on every post. We appreciate you so much, Oscar. And the homie Thomas, he is the graphic designer extraordinaire. We are so happy to have you on the show again, Thomas. So if you guys have any fun alleyways that you want to take these conversations down, please don't be afraid to leave a comment.
Sir.
We will absolutely engage with you. Last week, now listen, I didn't know this, but Thomas was the feds. He was lurking in the chat, and I loved it, right? But then immediately after, there was a graphic of the hottest take that I had from the show with that quote on it, and I was like, yo, he was lurking.
No way.
He was looking for me.
Thomas, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. He had
very cool, actually.
It was me saying that the Bengals were in serious trouble on defense and at the running back position, which I stand by.
What about Chase Brown?
Hey, man, God's working on all of us, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thomas wants to shout out the Patriots' sneaky good offseason offensively. Have they though? I don't know, man. I'm not sure if I agree with you there. Tyquan's cool. B.O.B. there is going to solidify things, all that. I don't know if Nuke goes. I don't think Nuke's going to go to Tennessee, but if money talks it's going to be one of those teams, or maybe like the Texans or the Browns. I don't think it's going to be a team like Buffalo or Kansas City if he's in it.
Yeah, it's tough because at his age, you'd think he'd want a ring. But you also, I mean, also with his age, you want to maximize your earnings, right? Because I mean,
Yeah,
he's old for football, but he's not old for like for like everyday people, right? We're not gonna looking at a 35-year-old and be like, wow, he's old, or like 31-year-old.
right.
And outside of football, and be like, he's old. Like he's old for football, so he wants to make sure he earns his money when he still can.
And I can respect that, absolutely. He'll have
Yeah.
maybe a chance to get a ring-chasing contract on his next one, but maybe one last deal where he really chases the bag. I
Yeah.
wouldn't judge. Moving right along, we have coming out of Chargers minicamp, Justin Herbert is airing it out, and J.C. Jackson is now cleared. So, according to the Athletics' Daniel Popper, Herbert attempted 5 throws of at least 40 yards downfield during a single 7-on-7 period. Keenan Allen, who reeled in 2 of the deep passes, says the offense will make use of Herbert's cannon under new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. This is what I've been waiting for, Jimmy, and I talk about it on the show all the time. I had Herbert as one of my hot seat quarterbacks. It's absolutely time for us to see Justin Herbert take that next step, right?
Yeah, I mean, Justin Herbert and the team as a whole, I feel like has underperformed with all the expectations and stuff that we always get in the offseason. He's slinging it. We know he can sling it. We know that team has so much talent with J.C. Jackson, Bosa. I mean, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston's now up there, Mike Williams. I mean, there's so many stars. That offensive line solid too. I mean, they need to be better than what they have been, and that choke job in the playoffs is tough.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we don't. I'm sorry, Chargers fans.
No,
if it's
yeah.
anybody in here right
Yeah,
now.
you did not give a proper trigger warning there for Chargers fans.
TW.
Very, very difficult to watch, to stomach.
Yeah.
And hey, man, I'm a Bills fan. I'm no stranger to disappointing playoff losses, but I would say that takes the cake. In the last couple of years of biggest
Made the
choke
Colts
jobs.
look better for losing
100%.
against the Vikings that one day.
Oh, that was so legendary.
So
Freaking
that was
Kirk Cousins
legendary.
breaking Frank Reich's record for biggest comeback of all time. But I like to see this. Yeah, I've been thinking that Kellen Moore could be the piece that was missing from the Chargers that unlocks that next level of Herbert. Quentin Johnston helps a lot. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. It's a pretty promising offseason for the Chargers, and I think we better see that step forward, Jimmy. Yes?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Kellen Moore came in with that's a dream job right there with all the talent that he has with the young quarterback, with Austin Eckler. I mean, I didn't even mention Austin Eckler back there getting those touches. So the Chargers are somebody that we always watch out for, but as of yet, we haven't seen a lot from. I mean, let's just be honest, at least in the playoff success kind of outlook.
Yeah, I'm very much on like a wait and see with the Chargers because they just haven't shown us that they're capable. I mean, they've it's been a lot of talk, Jimmy, and I just haven't seen the results. So I'm looking forward to, hopefully this headline is the first sign of things to come. And yeah, getting JC Jackson back healthy doesn't hurt. I mean, he's an absolute stud. So I love that for them. I mean, he didn't play like it last year. We'll see. Maybe he's himself again. Moving right along, Aaron Rodgers is hyping up wide receiver Garrett Wilson. No shockers there. Okay, whoa. Garrett Wilson, as far as the eye test goes, new rookie, second-year wide receivers, he has the potential to be one of the best in the game, I think. I'm confident that Garrett Wilson has that dog in him and that he's going to prove it to us this year. After practice on Friday, Rodgers said, I love Garrett. The whole world is in front of him. He's got all the talent and ability. The 4-time MVP went on to say that Wilson is good enough to develop into one of the league's best receivers, echoing sentiments expressed by myself just moments ago. There's strong chemistry between the two of them, and a lot of people are seeing it. So the reigning offensive rookie of the year, Jimmy Ray, is looking like quite a threat to be a very, very important piece of the Jets offense this year.
I mean, when Aaron Rodgers was looking at the Jets, let's get it out of the way that he was looking at Garrett Wilson when he made that decision, right, to go there. I mean, absolutely, he was looking at Garrett Wilson. He was looking at the other side of the ball and Sauce Gardner. I mean, those are two guys that are dominant on both sides of the ball, and they're young. And Aaron Rodgers is like, I want a piece of that because they're on the climb up. They're headed up the mountain, and we don't know where their peak is at yet. And Aaron Rodgers is going to maximize that, like help them climb all the way up to the top, however far that is. And Zach Wilson, he's going to learn from Aaron Rodgers too, right?
So, this definitely could be. Yeah, Garrett Wilson is, he's absolutely one of the biggest blue chip prospects that the Jets have. Him, Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall. I mean, dude, there's so much going for that team, and they have so much potential this year. I think it's interesting the amount of hype that they've gotten. The hype train's been a little out of control. I do wonder just, how quickly things will gel. Rodgers is a historically slow burn kind of player, especially when it comes to the first couple months of the season. He has historically bad performances in week one for some reason.
Yeah.
Felt like Rodgers teams always had their doors blown off week one. Fingers crossed that happens again this year. But I absolutely, I think the Jets are very scary.
Yeah. Yeah. They could reach top tier teams, and I think we're
They
going to be
could.
talking about that later on where we possibly rank them now in terms of potential, because that's all we kind of have right now.
Yeah, that's going to be very fun to do. Last but not least, before we move on to our main topic, we're wrapping these up a little quicker than usual.
Yeah.
We love to usually just drone on about nonsense for a really long time. I'm completely joking, but we have a really nice, fun main topic today. So we're kind of doing lightning round a little bit for these because we're just so excited for the main topic. We love our rankings. We love our tier based systems. Kevin, Jimmy, and our special guest that's coming out in a little bit. You might not find bigger nerds in the world, except for maybe Brian McFadden. Last but not least, I'm sorry, I'm taking shots at the CEO now, at the head of Seahawks wide receiver JSN shining at Seahawks minicamp. No shockers there. JSN beat fellow first-round rookie Devon Witherspoon for a long touchdown last week.
Ooh.
JSN has been lining up in the slot, which is the role he played at Ohio State. The Athletics' Michael Sean Duggar writes that JSN has been as advertised in practice and at times looks very similar to Tyler Lockett in that his movements never seem forced. Everything is fluid from the release to the catching and then the moves after the reception. Geno Smith will have the benefit of playing with one of the league's best wide receiver trios next season, DK, Tyler Lockett, and JSN. Jimmy, thoughts on this headline?
I love the hype. Before training camp, Jackson. I mean, I think Geno Smith, and the Seahawks as a whole, they have all the weapons they need on the offense. I mean, that trio of wide receivers, that goes up to par with. If Jackson Smith can ball out, that goes up to par with the Bengals. The Bengals have a solid wide receiver trio, and that has worked out great for them. They've kind of managed their role effectively and efficiently with Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. They all know what their role is, and if they can find their role within the Seattle's offense, I think sky's the limit.
Yeah, man. And I wanted to say, Oscar shouted out that Seattle could be a sneaky good team this year. I absolutely think that if any of those 49ers quarterback woes, bleed into the season with, Brock Purdy's health, Trey Lance's performance, Sam Darnold just being Sam Darnold, seeing ghosts maybe, I would absolutely be terrified of Seattle, breathing down their neck in that division. What do you think about that, Jimmy? Hot take?
I don't even think it's sneaky at this point. I think, Geno Smith didn't write back last season.
They did not write back.
And then they got a couple first round picks, Devin Witherspoon, JSN. Don't forget about Devin Witherspoon might have gotten beat in that report from camp. But hey, man, iron sharpens iron. They'll work with each other. I'm sure Devin Witherspoon's beat him a few times as well.
100%.
Tweet about it, Devin. Let's show it. Come on the podcast.
Please.
Let's talk about it.
Beef with your teammates. I love this.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's fantastic to see because the Seahawks, they were such an ascendant team last year, and they shocked the world by making the playoffs, and now it kind of feels like they're expected to be there. Their defense got a lot better. I would be absolutely terrified if I was in the NFC West with them. I think they're very much a threat to contend for that division. But I don't really see the need. I think we're all in agreement here. I think it might just be time to wrap this up and head into our
main topic.
Thank you. Oh, I like Jimmy's version better, actually. That was dope. It's our main topic time. And look, we haven't been shy about it, guys. It's off-season power rankings time. Myself, Jimmy Ray, and the producer with the mostest, Anthony Wainers, jumping on the show to help us out. Anthony, how the H are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I came up with this idea for the main topic, and I just had to be a part of it. This is just so much fun.
There was no way in H that I'd want to do this show without Anthony. He's the power rankings guy. Him and Jimmy and Brian, they're the best at this stuff, man. I'm going to be learning from them. This is my first power ranking show as part of Legit Football, so I'm very excited to just learn from the greats.
You guys made it easy for me just doing tiers. that was
I
a thing
love
of beauty
tiers
right there. I mean, it was still a little difficult,
so
but like I can't make too many people mad this way, right?
Yeah, Anthony has the
Right,
coolest
exactly.
graphic. Anthony, why don't you pull up that graphic that you showed us? We'll be doing a little
for sure.
screen sharing.
I got this idea from a tweet that I saw from FanDuel. FanDuel, if you're
Shout out
listening, you
FanDuel.
totally sponsor us.
The #1 sports.
That would be cool.
No free
So I
advertising.
saw that tweet. I'm like, oh, that we should like do our own and do like a legit football.
That's
tier.
beautiful.
So
oh my god.
And we got posted.
Look at all those teams.
Take FanDuel in it and say you were wrong about this.
I absolutely love this. Okay, are we ready to just dive right in, guys? Why don't we try to start with tier 1?
I think we're doing alphabetical.
We're gonna do alphabetical order of the team. So we're gonna start with Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going by the city. Okay, I see. Can you create a new tier called Booty and then put the Cardinals there?
I have them in the booty category as well.
Is that a hot take?
don't change it.
Tier 6, Booty.
There we go.
I'm just joking. They're in the bottom.
Yeah,
and there's no question. We could talk about it. We have a lot of listeners, so please comment your thoughts, guys. Oscar, Thomas, we're having such a blast having you guys in the chat. Please feel free to contribute with your comments. We absolutely love it. I would say it's obvious. Arizona
I think what sticks out here too, and with their new coach, I think that there's an upside, but that's in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to take some time. And I don't know if Gannon's the guy. He might end up being the scapegoat because he seems kind of like a little bit of a goofball, to be honest.
Coming in at a weird time.
Shout out to Thomas here. Okay, see, Thomas, this is why we love Thomas. We need people to give us the perspective. They did acquire the Texans pick.
That's a dub.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is.
And they only moved down like 6 spots. That's huge. Oscar agrees. Arizona's had a historically bad offseason. Awful. So, okay, everybody's in agreement. Let's move on. Atlanta. This is a tough one, you guys, because we're started. That's the thing with doing it alphabetically. It kind of makes it so that we have to call our shot a little bit.
Yeah.
If we were going by like in order, it would be a lot easier to like envision where we're slotting them. But I'm inclined to say tier 3. Am I reaching up a little bit? How do you guys feel about that?
I have them as tier 4, but I understand.
Okay.
I just did it with my tier 3. They wouldn't fit in the tier 3 that I have set up, but
okay.
I understand. I couldn't put them in tier 5
Anthony,
just because
comfortably be the tiebreaker, but just remember Brian McFadden
that's why we
has fallen in love with the Falcons, and I think Brian would kill us if we had him in the 4.
I agree. I think I'm gonna have to pick tier 3, and that's just because Brian supported his case pretty well.
Brian's love for the Falcons is strong enough for this whole podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna go.
It really is. The weapons are crazy. Desmond Ridder is the factor. If you put them in the 4 tier, it's because of their quarterback.
That's why. Yeah, that's kind of
mad
why
at that at all. Oscar agrees that they're tier 3. I just think like Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, the offensive line that powered one of the best running games in football last year. The defense got significantly better. Thomas agrees. Free agency was great. Thomas also says that they didn't need to take a running back. I agree with that too, Thomas. Yeah, it was definitely a bit of an irresponsible asset allocation decision, but nobody's going to be mad at that if Bijan Robinson is a Hall of Famer, even if it was unnecessary and irresponsible. Nobody's going to be mad.
I don't think Algier blew up the running game like they wanted.
He was pretty darn good.
So they had to add someone that fits what they were trying to do.
I agree with that. I do.
Running back thing, and now they can do it. Have Bijan take most of the snaps, and then Algier can just be there.
Yeah, I think Jimmy, you comfortable with that? You can live with that?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with it.
Feel free to pound on the table and scream if you think we're wrong. We don't mind.
They have a lot of weapons. I just don't know if Ridder is going to be very helpful in that offense, and I'm not sure quite if their defense will step up, but they do have a lot of weapons.
Imagine if they went out and got like Derek Carr. That could be like a contender.
Yeah,
that team really feels like they're a quarterback away. So if Desmond Ridder's just mid, then that will go such a long way.
So next round to we had the Lamar Jackson drama. So he did re-sign with Baltimore. So does that change what tier they're going to be in?
For me, I think my humble opinion. Actually, Jimmy, I'll let you go first on the Ravens, and then I'll chime in.
I have them at tier 2.
I would also have them in tier 2. Yeah,
so I don't have them in the top powerhouses, but they're definitely one of those teams that's like they could make it to the Super Bowl. They can make it to a championship game. Have they made it like far enough where we're satisfied? Obviously not. But Lamar Jackson's got that contract now, and I mean, they're beefing up their wide receiver core, so that's something to be excited about. And Raquan Smith really changed their defense last season.
Yeah.
The thing is, I want to differ, and that's just because I think if Lamar Jackson doesn't improve his passing, stops running so much, and stays healthy, he deserves tier 2. But if all those things go wrong, then tier 3 it is.
It's absolutely possible that they could go wrong, but I think we've seen enough from Lamar, and he finally has a legitimate weapon set that I think it's safe to assume that he'll at least be great, if not excellent, again, like he was in his MVP year. So I'm comfortable putting them at tier 2. But
I think Greg Roman held him back a little bit too. I think
definitely,
Lamar Jackson's a better passer than what people may think.
Really quick though, what kind of alphabetics are we going by here? Because we have Detroit. I don't see what's ahead of them for D or L for why they're ahead of Buffalo.
Oh,
no idea.
Yeah,
I'm confused.
I'm not sure either.
This
we'll just keep going down the list.
We can just keep going down the list.
Just go down the list, yeah.
The alphabetization is whack. Lions, Detroit Lions. D is not ahead of C or B, but it's okay. Detroit Lions, I love it. He's throwing them in tier 1, guys, for the listeners. I think I'd be between 2 and 3, and I think I'm assuming Anthony would say 2. Is that fair, Anthony?
Yes, but because of the offseason they had and the turnaround they had at the second half of the season, I think there is enough evidence to argue tier 2.
So then I agree with that actually, but for the sake of that argument that you're talking about, I will say tier 3 so that Jimmy can tie break.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, my tiers kind of got switched all the way up with the Falcons going up to 3.
Okay.
Just because but I did have the Lions in my tier 3. So I'll keep him there, and we'll go with.
Then we'll put him there for now.
High sky,
but Anthony, it's okay. Let's talk about it really quick. Jared Goff is awesome. Jared Goff is absolutely awesome. He proved that he's the real deal last year. He's gonna be definitely a lot better for the whole stretch of the year this year. They had a fantastic offseason. They brought in really great talent. They were contending for the playoffs last year. They're the penciled-in favorite in the NFC North. I just think, Anthony, and I think you'll agree with me here, we just need to see it. They haven't proven it.
And I firmly believe that when we do our midseason rankings, that going up 2 spots is better than going up 1. So
I really wanted to put them in tier 2.
Like you just said, we have to see it. Yeah, they did finish over 500, but they missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it at tier 3 for now.
Yeah, well, for now. And then we can rearrange. If things start to feel wonky, Jimmy, we can rearrange. I'm comfortable with rearranging. We're kind of doing it. We're calling our shot right now. So
yeah.
Colts.
I like it.
Colts. Are they 4 or 5?
I think with the Anthony Richardson
Jimmy's 5. Okay.
It might be
for this season.
Yeah. Why don't we just throw him? Why don't we just throw him in 5?
Other than Anthony Richardson, can you really name something that was blew it out of the water for the Colts this offseason?
Josh Downs.
Dude, they got the GOAT Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah, I mean Isaiah McKenzie.
There's talent, but is there coaching? Yeah. That's where
I'm not sure if Oscar was trolling here, but he said Detroit at 4. I think that's flagrant, to be honest.
Overkill, yeah.
They're absolutely that's 2 free throws.
They're absolutely 2 or 3 in my opinion. But I love the bit, Oscar, if that was a bit.
If it wasn't, we don't know what's happening right now.
I'm not judging if it wasn't,
Yeah. No,
like I said, God's working on all of us. What do we got next? What are we looking at next?
The Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, 4. That's a 3 or 4, but I'll go with 4. Yeah, I'll go with 4, Jimmy.
It's just the question marks, but I think Frank Reich could definitely bring him up to tier 3, and they have a solid defense with Burns and Horn, and they have a lot of offseason improvement.
Is a huge Panthers fan, and he actually kind of helped me see the light a little bit on the Panthers. I'm actually in on the Panthers a little bit, honestly, because I love Bryce Young. I absolutely love Miles Sanders. I think that team with Frank Reich and Bryce Young, I think that team can be ascendant, but we haven't seen it. So I think tier 4
this year. It's for this year, I think, is what we're
I think when you get the top prospect in 4 years, then you have to believe that there's going to be some kind of adjustment, and it's going to be big. They could make playoffs. It just depends on how Bryce Young is coached.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The Buffalo Bills.
Here we go. That's tough.
I think this one's actually pretty easy. I'm just gonna put it in tier 1 because I think it's obvious that the Buffalo Bills belong in tier 1. They just have that manpower. They're a great team. They just struggle in the postseason. So if they can just fix that, I think. But Kevin, I want to hear your thoughts. You're the Bills homer.
am so glad. I am a homer. It's fair. I'll take that. I'll wear that badge proudly.
Isaiah McKenzie got lost, so I don't know.
Yeah, right. Losing Isaiah McKenzie really hurts. Losing Zach Moss to the Colts also really hurts.
Yeah. How's Nyheim Hines doing?
I love him. 2 touchdowns
awesome.
in week 18. No, but I absolutely think tier 1 is the right call here. I was actually kind of thinking like if I had to rank them specifically, I would say they're maybe at the back half of tier 1 because of that lack of playoff success. I hate to say it, it kills me inside because I think objectively the Bills can be as good on paper as any other team in the league. But that doesn't matter if you consistently prove that you come up small in the playoffs. And that's 3 years in a row now. So as much as I hate to say it, back half tier 1, but I don't think there's any way they're not in the top 4 teams in the league.
So I know, and I agree, but I know that only wins count in the playoffs, but those games were close. It's not like they got blown out.
They all were, except for the Bengals one. They did kind of get their doors blown off realistically. I mean,
that was
the Bengals,
that was tough.
they kind of they dog walked them, to be honest.
In 2023, I do think we're going to see a different story.
If the Bills were in the NFC, do you think they probably would have a couple Super Bowl appearances then?
It's a good question.
Would you say it one more time?
Do you think if the Bills were in the NFC that it would be kind of a different tune for sure? Yeah,
no question. With all due respect, I think if they were in the NFC, they would already maybe have at least 1, maybe 2 Super Bowl appearances. But
right, because you're not going against Mahomes and Burrow.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
Mahomes,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like the competition on the AFC side may kind of look at it differently, but I think the Bills are Super Bowl favorites every year. And not necessarily
contenders
like
at least.
Yeah, contenders. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm glad we're all in agreement there. I didn't want to see them get moved down just yet. Thomas, really quick, back on the Panthers. Depending on Young's floor, if he's not a top QB, we're done. I agree with that.
What it comes down to.
Yep.
That's
and then
what it comes down to.
We virtually gave up CMC, DJ, and 9 for him. That's a big haul for a franchise quarterback, but if
it pans out,
if that's your guy, it doesn't matter.
Easy.
Exactly. We always say that on the show. King Midas's silver is not enough for the cost of your guy. So let's keep it moving. We have the Chicago Bears, and we have another hard discussion here.
We do.
Because
I'll start it off because it's the NFC North.
Please.
There has been a lot of praise for Chicago. Like
deservedly,
people are saying that they might play second in the North and
possible wild card.
But there's a lot of work to do there. And
absolutely.
I think a lot of it was Justin Fields ended up sacked a lot. He had no one to pass to. The offensive line was terrible, but
the line got better.
It got better. Though those things got solved. Those problems were fixed. And if we see those problems fixed, I think we may be able to say tier 4.
I would say 4 or 3.
Lions. Like it's just that seems.
Yeah, tough. I think you're right. I think tier 4 is. I'm comfortable with putting them in tier 4 for now. What do you think, Jimmy?
I have them at tier 5, so we can meet in the middle.
Oh, sweet. Okay, nice.
I'm
a believer.
Justin Fields.
I think they're gonna.
I do.
You don't. Oh, you
I
do
like.
Okay,
I do like Justin Fields. I feel like he could be good. They were the worst team last year in terms of. Obviously, they had the number 1 pick last year, and I'm not quite sure where they're.
Fellas, we are a quarter of the way through our tier list. This is so fun. I'm having such a blast. Please comment if you're in the chat, if you want to chat and chime in on what you think so far. Jimmy, quarter of the way through, how's that Falcons in tier 3 sitting with you? Is that rubbing you the wrong way?
Right. Okay, yeah, just because I feel like the Lions are a tier above the Falcons, but I think that's just
thinking. It's bothering me seeing them there because they are such a level up from.
But let's keep in mind though, tiers are they're tiers. They're not.
Yeah,
right. They're not weird. They're the same. They're just.
That's why when I was doing this, I was like a 6th tier would be helpful, but then I just want more tiers. I would end up with like 12 tiers.
Right. Literally.
Just end up with the power rankings at that point. So
let's wait.
It's very hard to
before we move the Falcons out. But I could stomach moving them to 4. But I think McFadden might give us all pink slips.
Let's not switch. Let's just let it happen.
Because I think I want to switch the Lions, and that's not the homer in me. That's saying we're talking about a winning team. They finished over 500. They had 6 first and second round picks. They made a lot of adjustments,
but they didn't make the playoffs.
And they did not make the playoffs. And
that 14 teams make the playoffs,
because the Rams lost, and it was because of a game that they were.
But it's always we can all always say it's because something happened. But you got to control your own destiny. They went 9-8.
Absolutely, it's just weird.
You know
seeing
what I
them
mean?
At tier
3. They blew that
Week
17 game. That's the reason they didn't make the playoffs. That Week 17 game. If they were a tier 2 team, they would have won that game.
I think they were a different team in the second half of the season too.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyways, that's okay. We can come back to it. I'm super comfortable. I'm just enjoying the banter. That's what the people are here for. Yeah. Cincinnati's tier 1, no question.
Yeah.
That's easy money.
Freaking
even with the running back situation, Kevin, what's going on?
The running back situation, the defense. Thomas, is this an off-season tiers or competing next year or just in general? I think we're ranking the teams following their off seasons. We're not tiering their off seasons. We're tiering them following their off seasons. If we were ranking their off seasons, it would be different. I think Carolina and Chicago would be higher.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think Cincinnati might be a little lower. But that's okay because we're tiering them based on their off seasons, based on where we see them fit at this moment in like a normal power rankings vision. Yeah, Thomas, I see what you mean. It was a little unclear. Thanks for clarifying. Everybody understands now. But Bengals are easy money, tier 1. Joe Burrow, elite. That wide receiving trio, elite.
Irv Smith.
Insane defensive line. He said Irv Smith. Yo, Jimmy Ray, man, I swear to God, why?
Sorry, I mean, to be serious.
Wait, what? Kevin, wasn't he your breakout when we were talking about tight ends?
I actually love Irv Smith, but I wouldn't point to him as a reason they're tier 1.
No, I think we talked about him in our mock that they needed a tight end. So,
Thomas, I like where you're at with where you said you were disagreeing. We will definitely maybe do that exercise now that you bring it up. I think that's a really fun exercise, ranking teams off seasons from most effective to least. We should look into that.
I don't know if we're a little late to the party on that.
We might be a little late to the party for that. We're getting into OTAs training camp.
But Thomas, I hope you disagree again eventually.
No, he won't.
Now.
Thomas,
now he's perfect.
Now that you know, we're locked in, right?
Thomas, what do you think about the Falcons, Thomas? What's going on there?
Yeah, Thomas, you know what?
Let us know. That's on us. We should have been more clear.
It was. I totally understand. Yeah, I think it's we're all in the know now. So Cleveland.
Well, that's tough.
I like 4, Anthony. I like 4 or 3.
Where did I have them? Oh, 4.
Yeah, let's do tier 4 now. I mean, Deshaun Watson has to reprove himself. Yeah. They did have a great offseason. No question. If this was an offseason tier, they'd be in the 1 or 2, but it's not. It's where they're at. And I think with the question marks surrounding Deshaun Watson and how poorly they finished the season last year, I think 4 is generous even. Yeah. But I think they'll be a competitive team this year. I think they can compete in the AFC North. So we're all good with 4.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm good with 4. Yeah.
Did you have them somewhere else, Jimmy? Did you have them 3?
Nope,
I could see them in 3. Okay,
I stuck with them at 4 pretty well, just because that Deshaun Watson situation will make or break them. And you see all sorts of stats with Jacoby Brissett, and
Brissett was effective last year.
Deshaun Watson has to shut him up. But
100%.
I don't know how many people are cheering for him. So
right, exactly. Not I. Dallas is a tough one, and I will leave this to y'all because I.
How dare you?
This is a y'all thing.
I have them at 2.
I would say 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's fair.
Can we go as far as 2? Can we? Is that
Dak Prescott is pretty darn good. Dak Prescott is pretty darn good.
Pollard, he kind of broke out last
year.
They've
made the divisional round each of the last 2 years.
I mean, line's good. The wide
receivers like one of the best secondaries.
They're a contender to win their division. I'm cool too. They got better this offseason. They've made some good moves. 3 would be I could stomach 3, but then seeing them and the Falcons in the same tier would be weird. So I like 2.
The Falcons have their own tier.
They're just a grenade.
We make their own tier.
We just make a tier called the Falcons.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Great
fellas,
idea,
the ball is nice. Thank you. This is what I need. Now it's gonna
all make sense. Improv.
That's more comfortable.
The Broncos, I think, are 4 or 5. I think
I had them. I'll be honest. I had them in like 3 different tiers throughout me looking at them, just because of their star potential, like what they could be. I ended up putting them at 5. I mean, with how bad their offense was, I would stomach 4. That would be funny. No, I think they're different. I think they're different than the Falcons.
I think so too. I think I can live with 5 only because of just how bad it got last year. But I don't think there's any question that they easily could be tier 3 by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We should do this again mid-season because this
I
could
agree.
change, and we could compare it and see who and we can have the.
We'll probably do it a lot. I mean,
agree.
we'll still have the show all the time, so I definitely could see us doing this all the time. This is
we
so
did
fun.
power ranking show. I mean, I would love to just do tiers.
Yeah, exactly. And Kevin and Jimmy, do you see a bright future for Sean Payton with Denver and Russell Wilson?
I think it's in the range of outcomes. I don't know if I'd predict it. I don't know if I'm not bold enough to predict it after what we saw last year.
Fair.
It's 50-50 for me, honestly. I wish I could say if I had to pick an outcome, I think that's the most likely, but I don't think there's a most likely outcome that I can say for sure that their defense is really good. Their offense, they have a lot of pieces, but it was just so bad last year. So bad without even
Green Bay Packers.
And this is an Aaron Rodgers Green Bay Packers now.
It was weird.
Yeah, 4. I think I'm going to go with, you said 4. I think I'd say 5.
Whoa.
That's fair too.
You guys think 4? How do you feel about that, Jimmy? Anthony, you might tie break. Is Thomas trying to tell us that he thinks, Thomas, are you trying to tell us that the Broncos are too low with 5 because of Sean Payton? Let us know.
I think his range of outcomes is just on the brighter side.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
5 or 4 from you with the Packers. I mean, yeah, Anthony, feel free to tie break that.
Yeah, I want to say 5 just because it seems like they're going into rebuild mode. They have a lot of young players, which
we don't know anything about Jordan Love.
Right, exactly. We haven't seen enough of him.
Yeah.
And I think we should keep him in tier 5 until we do.
Their weapons aren't like the Falcons where they're worthy of being elevated just because of their weapons. Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs aren't really moving the needle compared to Drake London and Bijan Robinson. So, yeah, I'm comfortable putting them in tier 5.
I'm fine with it.
This one, you guys know I'm going to stick my neck out for this team to be tier 4. I absolutely think the Texans belong in tier 4.
Here's the thing. What
I have them at 5.
Do you guys remember watching the Texans play and you're like, whoa, I was not expecting this?
They were actually really weirdly competitive last year. They were
competitive. That's
why
I
took the Chiefs to overtime.
Yeah.
They won a lot of random games. They won games they shouldn't have won. They were irresponsible as hell when it came to their draft position, but they got Dalton Schultz, Devin Singletary, CJ Stroud. It's insane. Will Anderson, the amount of talent that this team added, I'm telling you right now, I'd be shocked if the Texans weren't a 6 to 8 win team, and I think that's enough to get them into tier 4 myself.
I could see that.
I think I'm a little. Jimmy?
I don't know if I'm just the AFC South hater, but I think at least for this year, I'm not sure if they can reach that. But they were competitive. You did make a good point last year that they did have some good competitive games, but the Colts also played it close with the Eagles. So, I mean, I have no idea.
This one's tough, you guys. Jacksonville, I could see them going in 2 or 3.
I might have to say
I think 3
in tier 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 3 will suffice.
That game
Jimmy,
against
thoughts?
The Chargers could be an argument, but
I had him at tier 2. I was really high on Trevor Lawrence, and I think Trevor Lawrence will fall out and Ridley will come out. That's
right
what I
now,
have him as.
The Lions are looking a little lonely in tier 3. Why don't we build out tier 3, and then if we need to move them, we can. But I think, I don't know. Do you think they've proven it, Jimmy? Winning the division, winning a poo-poo division, and beating Brandon Staley in the playoffs. You think that's tier 2 worthy?
Up to tier 2.
Yeah, you think they belong there?
It's close. I like the Lions right now.
Yeah.
I like how I'm feeling with the Lions right now.
It feels good. It feels right.
It's like both teams that haven't necessarily proved everything, but I mean,
Jags have proven more than the Lions. But
I mean, how much was it Jacksonville made it into playoffs because of their team, or did they make it into playoffs because of their division?
That helped. The division absolutely helped. Thomas wants to suggest. So Thomas is predicting that the Texans will be a top 5 pick. Thomas, if you're a betting man, I will take you up on that. I will shake on that on the show right now. I think the Texans are going to have a pick beneath 5. Thomas says Titans stay healthy and Jags don't win that division. 3 or 4 for Jags. Ooh, he's hating. I love this. I love the fire Thomas brings to the chat. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, I'm comfortable with 3. Let's lock him in at 3 for now. Chiefs. I was thinking 2.
I had them at 4.
No, yeah, easy.
Mahomes had a down year.
Easy money. We love our Chiefs on this show. They're so great, and there's so much parity in the NFL.
Yeah, great wide receiver, Kadarius Toney,
Kermit the Frog.
1.
Yeah, I absolutely love the Chiefs. They're such studs, man. I swear to God, Kelsey's one of the best he's maybe the best tight end of all time. I'm ready to say it.
Yeah, such a fun team to watch.
Oh my God, they really are. The ring around the rosy stuff. They're such bullies, but they
Shout
make
out
it work.
Andy Reid, dude. Andy Reid Andy
He's
Reid and
genius.
Patrick Mahomes make that team for sure.
That is the engine, the quarterback and the coach, man.
He changed the modern game as we know.
100%.
Absolutely. He deserves all the Super Bowls in the world.
Yeah, shout out to Mahomes. Chargers, here comes another tough conversation. I'm inclined to go 3 myself.
I like them next to the Falcons.
Chargers aren't in the Falcons tier.
I kind of think that they belong in the Falcons tier.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
hilarious.
it's the Falcons tier. If they wasn't a Falcons tier, I put them at
4. You know?
Yeah, I think we can go with tier 3 for the Chargers. So I'm comfortable with that. The talent that they have, the fact that they did go to the playoffs last year. You know, Herbert is a perceived top 5 quarterback. Like, let's see. Prove it to us. This is your year, Chargers. Yeah. Like I'm not out on the Chargers by any stretch. I'm just one of the people who has an appropriate level of expectations for a team that just hasn't proven it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about it earlier.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's tough. And I mean, the Ravens haven't made it. They've had some playoff success here and there too, but Lamar Jackson they've done a lot better. But yeah, the Chargers, it's tough. Like last season, that loss was brutal.
Brutal. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that will follow a team, if they let it. And I thought Staley was done. I thought he was gone, and he wasn't. So Kellen Moore's a big addition. That really helps, but they gotta show us something to get out of tier 3.
Absolutely.
LA Rams, 5 for me, but I could listen to an argument for 4.
I will tell you this, being in LA, which Kevin, you're in LA too. Yeah. I do talk to a lot of Rams fans. I've had a lot of conversation and I've done a lot of research. Nothing is looking good.
Yeah. 5 or 4 for me.
Stetson Bennett did throw a dime, but
Bennett could be a stud in the backup. So it might be backup. So,
but I love Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I love Stafford
too. It's really
too.
hard to bet against him.
There's a lot of good, solid players that you have to like, and like Aaron Donald and
Cooper Kupp. One of the best players in the league. I think Cam Akers is going to be good.
So is tier 5 too low? Is that?
It's 5 or 4 for me.
I think then with the Broncos makes sense. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I can live with that.
I feel like the Rams will probably be a very different looking team in the after this season. So
yeah, I still haven't gotten over the fact that Thomas said Jags should be in tier 4. That just feels so flagrant. That just feels so disrespectful. Raiders. This is a tough conversation here. I would go 4.
I would too.
Yeah, let's go tier 4 there. Jimmy doesn't really move the needle a ton.
Sorry.
Nice. That was good. No, that was good. Boom. I would probably go with tier 4 because they have been smelling the playoffs every year for the last couple of years. You know, they at least especially prior to this year when they benched Carr, that kind of threw them off the train last year. But McDaniels is not the best coach we've seen. Yeah, I can live with tier 4, guys. Any objections or any thoughts on that ranking for them?
No. They have some talent.
I think that fits. I think tier 4 is okay.
Yeah, let's do that. And then the Miami Dolphins. This is another tough one. I think I'm gonna go with 2.
2. Do it for Brian. Do it for Brian.
Bit high with what they've proven.
Brian's alive, by the way, guys.
And with 2.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Gone but never forgotten. Yeah, I think I agree with Thomas. Raiders are the definition of a 7-win team. They're the new just all mid team.
Yeah.
Except for Devontae, obviously he's a stud. I like putting the Dolphins in tier 2. I don't think they've done enough to be in tier 1, and I think what they've proven in the last couple of years is that they belong in tier 2. So I'm super comfortable with that. Any other thoughts on that, guys? Just straightforward. 2 is health plays a big role.
No, sky's the limit for that offense, and that defense has stepped up as well. And they've added a lot of solid pieces on that defense.
Absolutely, Vic Fangio coming in. Yeah, I could see them being in tier 1 at the end of the year.
Too, right? I mean,
yeah, Ramsey's stud. Yeah,
Bradley Chubb's over there.
Stop it, Jimmy. You're freaking me out over here, man. I'm breathing heavy now.
I'll leave.
Vikings, tier 3.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Absolutely.
Can you stomach that, Ant?
Can you?
I think Ant's hurt.
I mean,
Ant doesn't want to see.
I feel like a Chargers type.
Such a good season. They have Justin Jefferson. It's hard to argue against tier 3.
Yeah, I think they got to be tier 3. Yeah, because they went to the playoffs. They should have been more competitive against the Giants. They did kind of get embarrassed by I would say a team that a lot of people thought overachieved. And then especially when you see them get their doors blown off by Philly the week after. So yeah, I'm pretty cool with seeing the Vikings in tier 3. And I think after this year, I think a lot of people would say they'll be tier 4 or 5 after this year, but we'll see. I digress. Thomas, hot take again. If you could guarantee Tua's health, Dolphins could be tier 1.
Oh, I agree with that.
I still
agree
don't.
with that
receiving core too. Yeah.
I just don't know if we've seen enough from them. I mean, even with Tua's health. I mean,
wow.
What was their record last year with Tua's health? I mean, what's the record in games Tua started and finished last year?
Was 7-1? I don't know.
I know. Like
I just made a guess.
I don't know. Like I mean, to me, in order to be tier 1, you have to beat the Chiefs, you have to beat the Bengals, you have to beat the Bills. They did beat the Bills in week 2 or 3, I want to say, but they did not beat the Bills in week 16 when it mattered, when the playoffs were on the line for them. So, it's interesting. We'll discuss it further, as the season unfolds.
I mean, they almost won with Skylar Thompson.
They have a great team. Absolutely.
They do. They have a fantastic.
By the way, if I had a nickel for every time the Bills almost did something, almost really counts for a lot. I'd have a lot of them.
Okay, that's only 5 cents. So.
All right, Pats. 4.
Yeah, 4. 4 is fine. Bill Belichick.
I think that's unanimous. Yeah,
it's a crowded tier.
It is a crowded tier. That's what I found when I was doing it too. I put everybody at 4.
A lot of middling
that's
teams.
It's always the toughest part to rank too.
And a couple of them are going to sneak in the playoffs.
I feel like 4 is just like, it's not good enough to be 3, but it's not as bad as to be 5. So it's like in the middle.
Yeah, and if you're not the Falcons,
Anthony just brilliantly described how tiers work. I appreciate that. All right, fellas, we are absolutely crushing this. We're at a good pace too. We'll be able to discuss our list a little bit, maybe moving around a little bit, because our boy Thomas is going to be blasting this out on the socials. So we got to make sure we are comfortable saying what we're saying.
Oh, geez, absolutely.
We got to say it with our chest. We can't just hide behind the microphone. We're owning this stuff. I love it. Jimmy Ray with the S on his chest. Let's go. The Saints.
All right, Derek Hart, is he?
They're 4 or 3 to me.
Yeah, that's what I had. I had them at one or the other. I had them at 4, but I
think 4. Seeing how good the teams are in 3. I think 4.
On paper, they're 3, but I'm not ready to make that jump.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love Derek Carr.
Lose some time too. Who knows?
I think Alvin Kamara, all the murkiness around his situation, that definitely hurts. But I like Rashid Shaheed a lot. I'm a huge fan of Jawan Johnson. I think they have some pieces. I think they're getting a little bit better, but they still have a really tough, they have a tough leap. Thomas, defense makes them at least 4. I'm pretty sure he's talking about the Saints still. Yeah, I think he's still talking about the Saints.
About the Patriots, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm glad you agree. I think they got to be tier 4. We can all agree with that.
Yeah.
Giants, tier 3.
Tier 3. Yeah, I have tier 3. It fits.
Glad to see that.
I think that one's easy. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's easy because of what they've proven with Dable and Dimes taking a leap. I do want to see them settle stuff with quads. I don't love the quads. He should be in the headlines
right now too. Yeah, he's just talking. He's going to town with going to town for all the running backs that haven't had a chance, like Josh Jacobs, Saquon, now Dalvin Cook. I mean, there's a lot of running backs that haven't gotten their
need to
like they
start a running back union.
Yeah,
yeah. Running back separate.
The tight ends kind of have one. But when it comes to Daniel Jones, though, like he just got paid a lot of money. So if he doesn't prove himself that he's worth that, I think that's where they're going to downgrade and they're going to end up in.
That's fair. I think that keeps them at tier 3 if they had a more elite quarterback.
Yeah, there's a ladder right next to him, and they could. Do I see them moving up? I think it's more likely they might move down, but I think Brian Dable has given us enough reason to move him to tier 3 right now.
Jimmy, you'll love this. I was on 30 Minutes of Football with Brian McFadden last Wednesday, and I was defending the Giants, and this man accused me of being a homer just because of the Daboll connection. And I said, Brian,
dear Lord.
First of all, I'm from New York, bro. They play in Jersey. Don't put that evil on me.
Yeah, don't put that on me.
But Second of all, I'm not a Giants fan, bro. I'm a Bills fan, bro. I can't be a homer just because Daboll used to coach the Bills.
Yeah, I'm an Eagles fan, man. They have all our old coaches, Nick Sirianni.
Right.
I'm a Jonathan Gannon fan too. I mean, all sorts of
I was saying to Thomas, Thomas astutely pointed out Buffalo used to just poach all of Carolina's players. Is Thomas a homer for loving the Bills?
Mm-hmm.
Thomas, we need more Bills love from you, by
Thomas,
the way. I'm looking for some more Bills love from you on the socials. I'm just throwing that out there. Jets, another tough one. I'm going to let you guys take this one.
I have them at 2. I've ranked them a little higher than I jumped the gun on it because I feel like they could be really good. And I mean that's I think their potential is tier 1 for sure.
I agree.
At this point. I mean, I think I might be go over top. I might be kind of like overhyping Aaron Rodgers. I'm not too sure, but with how good they were last year with
I don't think
Mike White and Zach Wilson, I
love this. Shout out to Thomas. Thank you.
I got
you. He's gonna spread some more Bills
they
love.
were winning games with mediocre quarterbacks, and now they have a Hall of Fame quarterback. So if they keep the system they had, then I think they're gonna go ball out. I think that they're gonna. I think tier 2 is actually a good fit.
I'm cool with tier 2. Yeah,
the
only
defense,
because
the run game, everything.
Again, range of outcomes, they absolutely could be tier 3 or even tier 4 after this season, because Rodgers, he was not great in Green Bay last year. That's not debatable. And a lot of people are questioning his effort, but they can't question the fact that this man, the year prior, had the Packers on the doorstep of the Super Bowl. And then 1 year later, he's barely trying. And he's got the team, getting bounced by Anthony's Lions,
Yeah. I mean, he was playing with kids, and now he's not. So
that's fair. I mean, he still is, but they're just better kids.
They're better kids.
True. I think the range of
I'm quoting that.
The range of outcomes I had was tier 1 or floor tier 3. So tier 2 felt.
I'm super cool with tier 2. Absolutely. Moving right along, Philadelphia tier 1.
Uno.
Easy. Howie did everything he could to take a Super Bowl contender, a Super Bowl team, and make them better.
Plus 2 first round, yeah.
They did have some issues. They did lose some talent, but I'm not too afraid of that. I think they got some talent on the way in. Legit Football's own Joe talks regularly about their need for an improved safety. I do agree with that. I would like to see them get a little bit better at safety. Alas, this is where we're at. CJJ is in Detroit now. So, they are going to need to do some stuff to make their safeties better, hopefully by the start of the season, but probably not. They're probably just going to have a deficiency on the back end, and we'll see if that hurts them. But other than that, Jalen Hurts, stud. DeAndre Swift, stud. Insane wide receiver duo, one of the best in the league. Great offensive line, solid up front.
The Georgia defense, solid.
Literally just Georgia defense.
Yep.
Just a bunch of Bulldogs.
Tier 1, no argument there.
They got that Bulldog in them. Steelers, 3 or 4 for me.
I have them at 4.
I can live with that.
At 4.
I can live with that.
I can't picture them at 3 right now.
Until Pickett does something.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they did try to improve their offensive line and stuff a little bit, and their defense is. I mean, TJ Watt is pretty good, right? So
he is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin's never had a losing record.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin puts them in tier 4 by himself. So
yeah, I could see them being in the Falcons tier. I'm just saying. I mean, they're not, but I could see it. They're another team I could see. But my friends, we are in the home stretch. 5 teams left. Seattle Seahawks. Jimmy Ray.
Oh, wow.
Where do you got them?
Oh wow, I have them at 3.
3. I'd go 2 myself.
Oh wow, okay.
Our chat before Anthony tiebreak.
I'm gonna have to say 3.
Okay.
Yes, I win.
Our chat before had me really fired up about them, man.
That's fair.
Right,
That's fair.
Yeah,
we did sing their praises.
Good picks in the draft. It's exciting, they already have Kenneth Walker, who really broke out in his rookie year. Geno Smith, he just he couldn't finish the season strong, and is that a precursor to what 2023 is going to be like? Should they do something or think about doing something different at quarterback? Like, it all depends on that. I think that they need to stay into tier 3 for now.
Yeah, I think they have a pretty good young team like the Jets do. I just think their pieces a little less value on them than I have on the Jets, which is why I have them lower. But like Aaron Rodgers, I think is better than Geno. I think Sauce Gardner is better than some of their all the defensive players.
Well, we'll see about Witherspoon. Jury's out.
Witherspoon's jury's out. If they can move up to tier 2 easily this season. Let's say that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I'm cool with that. SF tier 1.
Ooh.
Yes, I have them at tier 1.
Gotta be tier 1.
Yeah. I don't really care who their quarterback is. They've proven too many times that it doesn't matter.
Last pick in the draft and played in the playoffs under Shanahan. Like, they figured it out, and they have CMC. I gotta go tier 1 too.
Yeah, they have to. Tier 1. The defense is insane. CMC, George Kittle, Debo, Ayuk. Ayuk is, I think, sneaky elite. I think he might be an elite receiver. I think he might have a breakout, insane kind of year. Matt Harmon of Reception Perception has been banging the drum for Ayuk all offseason. I am kind of drinking that Kool-Aid, very, very in on Brandon Ayuk this offseason. Guys, any thoughts on the 49ers, or is it open and shut?
I think we're good.
I think we're pretty good. It'll be interesting to see how the quarterback position plays
That's
out.
A big domino.
Yeah. I think whoever ends up playing the quarterback position will be playing in the NFC Championship. So I don't
love that.
Yeah, I mean, why not? It doesn't matter who's playing in it. Maybe a different quarterback this time around.
Absolutely. Bucks, I got 5.
I got 5.
Sorry, Bucks. I know you had a good run.
They did.
You got your ring. That's what the goal is. So
sorry, Baker.
Let's just say this: they're gonna miss Tom Brady a lot,
big time.
Yeah, Mike Evans still has to get the 1,000 yards though. Come on,
he'll
Mike.
Do it.
Come on, Mike.
If they got Kyle Trask, I would create a tier 6 for them. But I think Baker makes them tier 5.
I respect that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean Trask. Times, he hasn't been on the field yet for a reason. I mean, it's not just the fact that the GOAT is there. I mean, from all reports out of camp and preseason is that he just looks bad. And Baker is looking bad too. So man, I feel sorry for Tampa.
Who's the third quarterback?
I don't even know, to be honest with you.
We might need to pick him up in Dynasty.
I think it might be Jimmy Ray. I think, right? Didn't you sign a one-year contract with the Bucks this offseason?
Nah, man, I'm all Colts right now. I'm still
okay.
Exciting. I think I'm in the video department right now. I'm making my way through it.
You're the scout team for here we go. Okay, Thomas. Thank you for this nugget. Thomas is a stat guy. The Bucks made the playoffs last year and scored the fewest amount of touchdowns out of any NFC South team. That's disgusting. That's a testament to them having a good defense and having the best game manager of all time.
And one of the worst divisions.
Too. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, they weren't good. They weren't great.
Titans, guys, want to throw me a lifeboat here?
I don't want to. We've given you enough lifeboats.
You have. Okay, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
4 or 5.
4 or 5. I don't feel comfortable putting them in 5. I think 4 at least.
4 then. So 4 because they have Derrick Henry. They Treylon Burks should be better. They have a decent offensive line.
Colts fan Jimmy put him at 5, but I'm fine with 4.
Yeah, it's tough seeing them. I
just think they're on a downward trajectory.
I do too.
But if they get Hopkins,
I'm a little disgusted that they haven't burned it down yet. What are they doing?
I know. I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, Thomas said it really, really effectively here. They do have a tier 1 coach. Mike Vrabel has kept them competitive for years, far longer than they should have been.
You've convinced me, Thomas.
Yeah, they absolutely belong.
I think they belong in tier 4 because they could beat every team in tier 5. So
definitely,
you know what I mean. So I think
they would be the best team in tier 5, hands down. Nice. I think the Colts will steal one from Tennessee this year. It wouldn't shock me.
I don't like
the Colts are going to be a sneaky. They're going to be a sneaky, horrible team that wins random games. I think because of
they always do that. Yeah,
they have boom potential. I think
if they can be, I just want them to be really bad or playoff team.
Hopefully. Last but not least, the Washington Commanders. I'm leaning 4.
I have 4.
I have
to throw them in with all the other teams. This is kind of how mine ended up panning out.
Yeah,
so
I actually really like how this looks. To be honest with you, do we pick a tier for the Falcons or do we keep this for the bit? I like the bit personally.
I like the bit because I don't want them in any other tier.
Yeah, they exist kind of in a weird subspace.
Don't ruin our perfect tier maker, man. Come on.
Oh, I love this, Thomas. Thomas is exactly right. Titans could beat the Chiefs on a Thursday and lose to Chicago next Sunday. That's
same with the Colts. Didn't the Colts beat the Chiefs last year? I mean,
that's facts.
It's a tough scene.
Yeah, man. I agree. Well, the Colts literally did beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was dope.
That's exactly what happened.
Wow, you guys, we freaking did it. I'm looking at this mammoth of a list that we have here, and I'm just so thankful. I'm the Beatles right now, man, because I get by with a little help from my friends. Jimmy and Anthony, you guys brought it today. I'm so grateful to y'all. Definitely download this, Anthony, and send it to Thomas if you can.
Oh, absolutely.
Thomas will blast this on the socials. You already know. Any final thoughts, guys, before we wrap this puppy up? What stands out to you about this list? I want a takeaway from each of you looking at this list.
I think what stands out to me is there are a lot of teams on here that I can see moving up.
Yeah, me too.
And like tier 4 and tier 3, I mean, I could see one of these tier 4 teams going to tier 2. Like, I think it'll switch up a lot, which is a big reason why we're definitely doing this again.
Yeah.
Because I do want to see the
Can't
increase.
wait. Yeah. Thomas, what do you think about our list, man? You're an NFL fan too. You do happen to be really great with graphics and all that stuff, but tell us your thoughts. I really want to know what you think about this list.
And hey, with every team that moves up, a team typically has to move down. There's only spots for like this. Typically, is how it pans out during the season. It can't be like 10 tier 2 teams. That just doesn't happen. Apparently, in the tier 4 it does, but that's just because it's losses to go around.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at how top heavy the AFC is. I think the AFC is just clearly the superior conference right now, with Buffalo, Cincinnati, and Kansas City just really, really driving the force home. And then those 2 AFC East contenders, Dolphins and Jets, along with the Ravens, that could be I could be talked into that's 7 top 10 teams right there.
What's one tier 4, tier 5 team that you think will make the jump?
That's a good question.
I could see the Commanders. I could see the Steelers. I could see the Panthers. I could see the Bears.
Panthers would be a great pick.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Saints and Panthers.
Thomas is hating on the Lions. Yo, damn.
Oh, no.
That's Anthony's team. You see his hat, bro? You see his hat? Lions just haven't proven anything to me. I mean, we steamrolled them with Darnold. That is fair, but also disrespectful.
All right, I'll see you in the playoffs.
Yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
I think ladies and gentlemen, I think we've had just about all the fun we possibly can have on the show today. Could not thank my friends. No, Thomas, it's all good. It's all good fun. And NFL. We got to talk smack.
We asked you, and you gave it to us.
I'm used to it. I'm a Lions fan. I'm used to it.
But I like I said, I could not have had a better time with you guys, and I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your night. Go enjoy some NBA finals. All right. Yeah, and to our listeners, you guys are amazing. You guys are the backbone of this show. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all back here on Friday, where me, Anthony, and Adrian Revito. Jimmy, feel free to join if you want. We have a really fun main topic on Friday. We're picking song titles to describe NFL teams' off seasons. Does that sound fun?
It does. Yeah. Sorry.
Start brainstorming.
I started thinking of song titles to describe the Colts, and I'm not quite sure where I would even go. Yeah.
Just maybe like Michael Jackson, Bad. No, I'm just kidding.
What's the song with Rich in it? I mean,
I like
rich,
that.
Baby. Let's go.
I like that. All right, let's wrap this thing up. This is the Legit Football NFL podcast, and we'll see you on Friday, guys. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.